Welcome back to the deep dive. You join us right at the point where the world, as our characters knew it, has just, well, fundamentally ceased to exist.
It's completely gone.
Last time, we were strolling through the quiet, idyllic, totally oblivious world of the Two Rivers. It was all spring feasts, sheep, and, the minor tragedy of Senbui's grumbling.
It was the pastoral prologue. But chapters 11 through 17 represent the violent shattering of that prologue. I mean, the forces that were just whispers, ancient history, prophecy, and the immediate physical danger of the shadow, they've all just violently converged.
All at once.
The innocence is gone. It's been replaced by a desperate flight into the dark.
It's a complete narrative pivot. The pace just goes from 0 to 1,000. So our mission today is to dive deep into Moiraine's history lesson, the one that reveals the staggering legacy of the Two Rivers. And we are going to unpack the 3 critical pieces of information she throws at the boys. The definition of the old blood, the mechanics of destiny, and perhaps most importantly, the psychological and identity crisis Randall Thor is instantly plunged into.
Absolutely. This is where we stop talking about local problems and start talking about the fate of the world.
Exactly.
We must explicitly define the concept of Taren, which Moiraine is hinting at constantly. We need to analyze the terrifying nature of their pursuers and examine why this tiny peaceful spot in the world holds the key to its defense. Let's unpack this.
Chapter 11 really sets the stage perfectly for tragedy, doesn't it? It's Beltane Eve.
It really does.
The whole village is vibrating with this low-level anxiety and excitement. The spring pole is going up, everyone is gossiping, and they are waiting for Padan Fain, the peddler, to show up. It's such a micro-focus on community life.
And that detail is so essential because it contrasts so sharply with what follows. I mean, they are preoccupied with the very specific, small comforts of their sheltered lives.
Right, they're worried about fireworks and pies.
Exactly. Mrs. Conger's pies and the endless petty disagreements in the village council. This localized drama is precisely the safety they lose when the external world finally crashes in.
But the threat doesn't just crash in blindly. It announces itself with these terrifying precursors. Rand and Matt, separately, see something on the road that just chills them to the bone.
They see the physical manifestation of the hunt, the Myrddraal. Sometimes it's called the Half-Man or the Fade. This is a critical enemy far above a common Trolloc.
And Rand's description of it is just, it's overwhelming. He feels this surge of pure malevolence, like hatred for everything that lived and hatred for him most of all.
It's an aura of pure evil.
So what exactly is a Myrddraal for those of us trying to place it in the hierarchy of evil? Because the description is so visceral, the cloak doesn't move in the wind, and when you look at its face, there was nothing but shadow where its eyes should be.
So think of a Myrddraal as a lieutenant or a field commander for the Shadow. They're technically Trolloc spawn, but they're unnervingly human in appearance, except for a few key traits.
Like the eyes.
Exactly, the lack of eyes. They're unnaturally tall, move with impossible grace and speed, and where their eyes should be, there's just a smooth, chilling patch of flesh or deep shadow. And this gives them the terrifying ability to see without sight, meaning they can track by sense alone.
Which explains why the fear is so specific. When Rand sees it, he feels physically frozen by the weight of its presence.
The Myrddraal Project fear. It's an ability. They have an aura of unnatural evil that can paralyze weaker wills. And according to lore, they can also travel through shadows.
Wow.
The fact that Rand and Matt saw the same figure means the pursuit is organized, intelligent, and highly motivated. But what really sold me on the fear factor was Matt's reaction.
Oh yeah, Matt Coffin.
The eternal mischievous rogue, right? He admits openly to Rand, "I've never been that scared, and I don't mind admitting it." That is absolute existential dread, confirming how severe this threat is.
And into this tense, uneasy atmosphere ride Moiraine Sedai and Lan Mandragoran, and they are completely and utterly out of place.
Oh, absolutely. Moiraine wearing silk in a village where everyone wears homespun, with that blue sapphire and the great serpent ring.
They're living symbols of the vast, dangerous world beyond the mountains of mist.
They really are. That great serpent ring is particularly telling. Rand notes it represents eternity, even older than the wheel of time. It signifies Moiraine's Sedai's status, that she is a woman who can channel the one power.
And Lan, her warder, is just the ultimate contradiction to the Two Rivers piece. He wears his sword like his hand or his foot, an extension of a deadly perpetual readiness.
It's the most exotic thing Emond's Field has ever seen. But, well, the pleasantries end quickly. Despite Moiraine's attempts to protect the village by hiding the boys, The attack comes in Chapter 13.
And it is brutal.
The catalyst is the Trolloc attack on the Althor farmhouse. This sequence is just pure, unadulterated shock. The Trollocs, these monstrous combinations of man and beast, they don't just come in searching, they come in for wanton destruction.
Smashing down doors, overturning tables.
And seeking specific individuals.
And Tam, Rand's father, is grievously wounded. The fight is so brutal, and it forces Rand into this immediate, desperate action. He tries to tend to Tam's wound and realizes the Trolloc's weapon was this bizarre, black-bladed thing.
That black blade, likely made of some dark iron or perhaps the Kandar iron forged in the shadow, carries a deep corruption.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying wound.
And Rand, in that moment of crisis, he just finds this remarkable raw capability. He draws his father's gleaming sword, which we'll definitely get to, and then he fashions a makeshift litter.
And drags his severely wounded father through the night toward the village. Just an incredible feat of strength and will.
Only to find the village itself in ruins. Tom the Gleeman, who is surprisingly still alive, confirms the carnage. He says, those things were right in the streets with us, slashing at people with their swords, torching houses.
Howling to freeze a man's blood. It's total devastation, confirming the Trollocs' only goal was destruction and the capture of the boys.
And Lan confirms it later, right? The specific targets?
Yes. The Althor, Cawthon, and Ibra farms, and Master Luhan's forge, because the three boys were visiting there. The danger is deeply personal, and now it's confirmed.
So the destruction forces Rand's hand and initiates this grand bargain. He's kneeling over his father, knowing Moiraine is his only hope, and Rand says the line that probably seals his entire future. I'll pay any price in my power if you help him. Anything.
That is the ultimate desperate blank check. And Moiraine's response is ice cold, and it's utterly defining of the Sedai perspective.
What does she say?
We will speak of prices later, Rand, if at all.
Chilling.
The price is not monetary. It's Rand's very existence, his obedience, his destiny. She accepts the bargain, knowing the cost is potentially cosmic. The fact that she doesn't demand a price immediately confirms that Rand is a precious commodity to her plan.
And the danger is so high that Moiraine realizes the only way to get the villagers to understand the necessity of leaving and to understand why the shadow is targeting them is to give them a history lesson, the one they all forgot. She unleashes the full, dramatic story of Manetheren.
And this is one of the most powerful speeches in the early books. Moiraine is reviving a forgotten past to ignite the fighting spirit of these people, connecting their humble lives to this heroic, ancient heritage.
What does she call it? Mountain Home.
Manetheren, yes, Mountain Home, a legendary kingdom that stood for 2 centuries during the brutal Trolloc Wars.
2 centuries? That's an immense span of time for continuous warfare. What does she tell them about the people?
She calls them a thorn to the Dark One's foot and a bramble to his hand. Their banner was the Red Eagle. They fought relentlessly, often alone, and were defined by their absolute refusal to yield.
And she connects that directly to the Two Rivers folk.
Directly. She emphasizes that the Two Rivers people are the direct descendants of the heart of Manetheren, meaning their famous stubbornness, their refusal to back down. The very characteristics Senbui exhibits when complaining about the mayor is actually the legacy of the Old Blood.
So that's why the Two Rivers felt so isolated. It wasn't just a remote village, it was a forgotten pocket of one of the greatest civilizations to fight the Shadow. How did such a powerful kingdom simply disappear?
Through immense tragedy and, well, a terrifying display of the One Power. Moiraine recounts the final battle. King Aemon, the last king, stood with his small army, surrounded by overwhelming forces, Trollocs and Dreadlords.
And they fought to the last man.
Every single one. The sword that could not be broken was shattered, Moiraine declares.
But the complete annihilation of the kingdom happened far away from the battle, didn't it? That detail about Queen Eldrine channeling her grief is truly... it's just chilling.
It is the ultimate warning about the terrifying scale of raw, uncontrolled power. Eldrine, Aemon's queen, was hundreds of miles away. When she felt Aemon die, the loss, the grief, the despair just overwhelmed her.
And she channeled.
She channeled the One Power so intensely and recklessly that she destroyed the entire kingdom and herself in a blinding flash. It's a microcosmic echo of the larger disaster, the breaking of the world, where uncontrolled male channeling shattered the globe.
So Moiraine's history lesson serves a dual purpose. 1, to rally the villagers to fight or flee by tapping into that old blood legacy, and 2,
to subtly warn them about the immense power lurking inside their own children, a power that destroyed a kingdom through pure emotion.
Which leads us directly to the concept of destiny that Moiraine is so fixated on. Why are these three boys, Rand, Mat, and Perrin, central to the pattern? Because they are Taren.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's be explicit now. Moiraine uses these cryptic phrases about central threads and the wheel weaving the pattern, but she hasn't used the term Taren yet. What does that mean for you, the listener?
A Taren is essentially an individual around whom the wheel of time weaves the pattern of the age.
Yeah.
Think of them as like gravitational centers for destiny.
So reality literally bends around them.
Yes. When a Taren is present, probability bends. Events that are highly improbable coincidences, chance encounters, major historical shifts tend to happen when they are involved. The greater the strength of the Taren, the more pronounced and chaotic the effect.
So Moiraine is saying that the boys are not just being chased by coincidence, they are actively warping reality just by existing. They're forcing the pattern to adapt its weave around them.
Exactly. When she speaks to Nynaeve, she clarifies that the boys are central to the pattern. A web of destiny is being woven and every thread leads straight to you. The stakes are global. Moiraine isn't taking them to Tarvalon for a field trip. She is taking them there because she believes the very survival of the world requires them to be put into danger.
Which immediately connects to the surprise arrival of Nynaeve, the village wisdom, who somehow manages to track Moiraine and Lan. And Lan, the formidable warder, is genuinely shocked by her skill.
Lan's reaction is priceless. He just says, "I must be getting old."
I love that.
Nynaeve tracked a master tracker across several days of rough terrain. Her ability is beyond mere woodcraft. It's intuitive and fiercely focused. And this is where Moiraine drops the second major lore bomb. Nynaeve has crude control over the power.
I found Moiraine's explanation of Nynaeve's power absolutely terrifying. It's raw, untrained, and connected to her emotions, specifically her anger and her protectiveness over the village.
It is raw channeling, done unconsciously through sheer will and emotion. Moiraine explains that Nynaeve's ability to track them comes from unconsciously touching the true source. But she follows that up with the crucial danger. Nynaeve must be trained, or she risks burning out.
Define burning out for us in accessible terms. It sounds gruesome.
It is. When a channeler, particularly one who is untrained or emotionally overwhelmed, draws too much of the one power, their body's capacity to handle that immense energy is exceeded.
Like a wire melting.
Exactly. Imagine a powerful current passing through a wire too thin to handle it. It melts, catches fire. In the case of a channeler, their body's destroyed internally. Moiraine refers to it as the channeler consuming themselves, leading to a slow, agonizing death.
That is a brilliant piece of cynical manipulation by Moiraine.
Oh, absolutely.
She uses the explicit threat to Nynaeve's own life and the potential danger to Egwene to force Nynaeve to stop trying to drag the boys back home.
It's Moiraine playing chess with lies. She knows Nynaeve despises her, but she also knows Nynaeve loves Egwene like a daughter.
And Egwene is also showing signs.
Moiraine had already identified it. She gave Egwene a token. So Moiraine uses the very real fear of Egwene burning out to ensure Nynaeve follows them. The Aes Sedai may fight the shadow, but their methods are rarely pure, and this moment proves it.
Let's talk about Rand, because the moment he realizes his identity is a construct is the true psychological turning point here. The journey is already dangerous, but the revelation that he isn't Tam's son by blood absolutely guts him.
This happens in Chapter 13 amidst the chaos of Tam's fever. Tam, delirious and near death from the Trolloc wound, is murmuring about an event from years ago. He says, "You were blue with the cold. Should have been dead too. Crying in the snow. I couldn't just leave a child. Rand is a good name."
The simplicity of those words is devastating. And Rand connects his height, his reddish hair, and his unusual gray eyes instantly to being an outlander. He realizes that everything he thought was certain, his lineage, his identity, is a lie.
It's the foundation of his world being torn out from under him. He's always been the tallest, the one who stood out slightly, and now he knows why. He is a foundling. This instant psychological isolation makes him incredibly vulnerable, just in time for the shadow to launch its primary attack against his mind.
But before the dreams begin, we have to talk about the physical clue Tam left behind. The sword.
Yes.
Rand carries it out of the wreckage, and it's so clear it's not some rusty farming implement.
It's a critical piece of evidence about Tam's secret past. Rand describes it as gleaming brightly, razor sharp, and feeling like a great weight. When Lan sees it in Chapter 15, he asks the defining question.
Is there by chance a heron on the blade as well?
And the answer, of course, is yes. It bears the heron mark.
Which is the symbol of what, exactly?
It is the mark of a blade master, one of the few elite swordsmen in the world. To possess a heron-marked blade means you are either a blade master or you took it from one.
And given Tam's skill fighting the Trollocs,
The implication is incredibly strong. Why does a quiet, peaceful, Two Rivers farmer, one of the least militarized people on the continent, possess a sword that marks him as one of the deadliest men alive?
it suggests a past completely contradictory to the one he's lived for 20 years. Was he a soldier? A noble?
Or was he tied to the Aes Sedai's plans in some way, as Baerlon later suggests? The source material is silent on the specifics right now, but the fact that Lan, a warder of immense skill, treats the sword with such respect and curiosity, that tells you everything.
So Rand isn't just carrying a weapon. He's carrying a secret identity that now belongs to him, symbolizing a martial fate he never wanted, and that further isolates him.
Exactly. And the isolation is amplified when the greatest evil in the world, Baerlon, targets Rand in his dreams in Chapter 15. This isn't just a nightmare, it's an intelligent, psychological assault.
It's so specific.
The Shadow knows exactly who they are hunting and exactly how to hurt them. Rand faces Baerlon, the Heart of the Dark, whose face is this horrific cavern of flames. And Baerlon immediately uses Tam's revelation to poison Rand against Moiraine.
He claims he was never bound and that the Aes Sedai will use Rand until he is consumed.
And the dialogue is vicious, particularly the taunt about his parents. Baerlon says Rand's father was chosen by the White Tower, like a stallion roped and led to his business, and his mother was a brood mare.
It's designed to hit Rand where he is most vulnerable, his sense of belonging and his burgeoning distrust of Moiraine.
It aims to convince Rand he is a pawn in a game far beyond him, confirming his greatest fear of the past few days. The Shadow is offering him a terrible choice. Serve the Dark One, or be destroyed by the White Tower, just like other men who could channel like Logain and Davian.
And the assault succeeds in breaking Rand's absolute belief in the binding of the Dark One. But what's fascinating, and often overlooked, is that Rand wasn't alone in this.
Right. Manetheren also had similar, intensely personal nightmares.
Which confirms Baerlon's awareness of all three boys.
And this comparative analysis of the dreams is key to understanding their potential destinies. Rand's dream involves fire, the White Tower, a direct confrontation. It targets the potential channeler and leader.
So what about Mat and Perrin? Were their dreams tailored to their vulnerabilities too?
Absolutely. Mat's dreams are focused on paranoia and greed. He sees shadowy rats gnawing at him, and he's just terrified. This prefigures the darkness that will consume him when he eventually acquires the cursed dagger. Baerlon is hitting him at his sense of self-preservation.
And Perrin, the gentle giant who hates violence.
Perrin's dream is about the consequences of his own great strength, his fear of violence, and his hidden non-human nature. He sees rats too, but he also dreams of an axe and of wolves. This targets his internal conflict about using force and foreshadows the wolf brother abilities Moiraine suspects he might develop.
So the shared immediate knowledge that they are being hunted, individually and specifically, is what unites them and drives their desperate flight.
It is.
That convergence of fear leads them to the city of Baerlon and to another key person who seems to confirm Rand's terrifying destiny, Min.
Min. She is one of the most mysterious and crucial introductions. She has this unusual, involuntary ability. She sees pieces of the pattern, these cryptic symbolic visions around certain people.
And when she looks at Rand, she is visually overwhelmed by the imagery.
Completely.
Let's break down those unsettling images she sees around him. First, the lightning.
She sees lightning striking him and coming out of him, which is the ultimate inescapable symbol of immense destructive power. Given the history of male channelers being called lightning, it reinforces the idea that Rand is inextricably tied to the one power.
Which, for a man, means madness and destruction.
Yes. Then there is the bloody hand and a white-hot iron, and a sword that isn't a sword.
What could that even mean?
The bloody hand and white-hot iron is deeply unsettling. It could hint at branding, ritual, severe injury. The sword that isn't a sword is a wonderfully cryptic detail that hints at the metaphorical weapon he will eventually wield, whether it's a legendary artifact or the power itself.
And the most disturbing image of all.
The vision of 3 women standing over funeral bier with him on it. It confirms that his life will be short, violent, and world-altering.
And Min reinforces Moiraine's idea of cosmic necessity. She notes that the imagery around the boys has become sharper and more furious since Moiraine arrived.
It suggests Moiraine's intervention is accelerating their fate. She's like a catalyst. She's not creating their destiny. She's forcing the wheel to weave it faster because the shadow is closing in and the pattern needs them to be where they must be.
So the party arrives in the city of Baerlon. It's supposed to be a safe haven, the first taste of the wider world, but it immediately throws new allies and entirely new categories of antagonists at them.
Baerlon is a bustling hub in Andor, full of travelers, miners, refugees fleeing war. And amidst this chaos, they meet Loial, the Ogier. This is a massive lore drop disguised as a character introduction.
He's visually striking, huge tufted ears, a kind of shaggy appearance, and an almost agonizingly slow manner of speech. He's obsessed with books.
The Ogier are essential to the fabric of this world. They are the builders from the Age of Legends. They lived for centuries, possess ancient, non-human knowledge, and were responsible for building many of the magnificent structures and cities that still stand, Tarvalon itself.
And Loial provides immediate, unexpected confirmation of Moiraine's history lesson, doesn't he?
He does, beautifully. When Rand mentions Manetheren, Loial's ears perk up, a sign of great excitement for an Ogier, and he expresses this profound sadness. There was a very fine grove there. Your pain sings in my heart, Rand al'Thor. We could not come in time.
Wow.
This confirms that Manetheren was not just a historical footnote, but a powerful place whose loss is still felt by the most ancient living race. It cements the importance of the Two Rivers' heritage and provides Rand with an instant connection to ancient friendship, which he desperately needs.
And then, almost immediately after meeting their new gentle ally, they run straight into one of their primary human antagonists.
The White Cloaks.
The White Cloaks, or the Children of the Light. They represent the political and ideological danger Moiraine has to navigate. Their ideology is simple. They are zealous fanatics who believe they fight for the light.
And they equate anyone who handles the One power, especially Aes Sedai, with agents of the Dark One.
Exactly. They see the world in stark black and white, and their methods are brutal. Suspicion, torture, and murder in the name of purity. They wear white cloaks with a golden sunburst symbol, signaling their absolute certainty in their own righteous cause. We meet Lord Bornhold and a particularly unsettling man named Bayar.
Bornhold is the perfect example of their focused zealotry. They are hunting the Dragon Reborn, the man prophesied to channel the power and potentially break the world again, and they view Moiraine and her party with immediate, murderous suspicion.
And this clash leads to Rand's most reckless, dangerous moment so far.
It really does. He's a shattered shepherd now carrying a Blade Master's secret. When the White Cloaks stare at the group, Rand just loses his composure.
He impulsively draws Tam's Heronmark blade.
An act of defiance, but it's pure self-sabotage. Lord Bornhold notices immediately, commenting, "Heronmark, Lord Bornhold," and he asks Rand, "You are that dangerous youngling."
Rand just revealed the proof that he is not just a farmer, but a skilled, potentially dangerous warrior with a mysterious past, confirming every suspicion the White Cloaks have. He's thrown himself into their crosshairs.
It's catastrophic. His hidden identity is now an active, visible threat. And if that weren't enough, as they prepare to flee the city, Rand spots another familiar face.
Padan Fain, the peddler who arrived late in Emond's field before the attack, now appearing as a gaunt, ragged beggar in Baerlon.
And Rand confirms Fain was tracking them. This isn't just a coincidence. Fain is a dark friend. But Moiraine makes a crucial distinction. Fain is not a normal dark friend.
What did she say?
That he's been fundamentally warped by the Dark One's pursuit.
What does that deeper corruption mean for Fain?
It suggests Fain has been specifically chosen and shaped, perhaps becoming a vessel or a magnet rather than just an agent. The Dark One has infused Fain with a terrifying, singular obsession to track the boys.
Which makes him exceptionally persistent and difficult to shake.
He is the human face of their continuous peril.
So Moiraine realizes the danger has followed them into the city itself. She confirms Fain's pursuit and senses a Myrddraal has slipped past their guard, even within the city walls. She has to abandon the assumed safety of Baerlon.
The proximity of the Fade means there is no more time for conventional travel. The shadow is too close, and the White Cloaks are now hunting them too. Moiraine has to resort to a truly desperate measure.
One that even makes Lon nervous.
Yes. She announces they're going north, off the main road, and towards something dark and feared, even by the wise. The ways.
The safety of the city is gone, replaced by this unknown, terrifying realm Moiraine must be planning to enter. We end this segment with the boys facing an unprecedented choice. Running from the organized evil of the Shadow, the insidious obsession of Fain, and the righteous zealotry of the White Cloaks.
It's a vice closing in from all sides.
So we've traveled from the pastoral innocence of Emond's Field to a world governed by prophecy, ancient history, and constant layered threat. We uncovered the grand history of Manetheren, defined the physics of destiny with Taren, and watched Rand's identity crisis unfold.
The pace of revelation is staggering, and it's designed to disorient the boys and propel them into their roles. They now carry the weight of the old blood. They know the ultimate evil is hunting them individually through their dreams.
And they know their only protector, Moiraine, is a master manipulator focused solely on the pattern, regardless of the cost to their personal lives.
Rand knows he is running toward a destiny foretold by a stranger with strange eyes, and he is carrying a weapon that marks him as dangerous. The shepherd has been replaced by the potential warrior, hunted by seemingly every organized force in the world.
And that leads directly to our final provocative thought for you to consider as we close this deep dive.
In these chapters, Moiraine and Lan are running from two distinct potent threats: the physical, overt evil of the Myrddraal and Trollocs, and the political human danger of the Children of the Light, the White Cloaks.
Right. And the White Cloaks, embodied by Bornhald and Bayar, believe they fight purely for the light, yet they are zealous, dogmatic, and utterly ruthless. They will kill in the name of their perceived good.
So when our protagonists are in a desperate flight, which danger is ultimately the greater threat to the world's stability and their personal safety?
Is it the overt, obvious evil you can see coming, or the misguided, self-righteous fanaticism that cloaks its violence in the banner of purity and virtue?
Moiraine has to choose her route, not just based on where the shadow is, but where the political danger is thin enough for her to slip through. That tension between those two opposing forces, the shadow and the misguided light, is the core conflict that will define their flight.
That is a terrifying proposition, especially when the enemy wears white. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the blood and destiny of Manetheren. We'll see you next time as we follow the boys into Moiraine's terrifying measure of last resort, the mysterious ways.